accepted can fucking pull our creations back down.
I agree with that.
And that's my only point.
Well, and I feel
and there's a level of awareness,
I guess,
to that acceptance, right?
And I also feel again that has more to do with your community than it has to do with you participating with yourself in the work that you feel is necessary for your own expansion. But I also feel, because I consider myself a part of, I feel like what I'm hearing from you is that you're not really in the right community.
I'm feeling like I don't know if a community exists that really has ideals and values that I feel like I experience with you. And that I experience with our friend Allison. And that is, I don't know. And so I guess I get a certain level of frustration comes over me when that thing that you long for to participate in and be is just not there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like writing a sentence and sitting there for 4 hours and going, this isn't the right sentence. It's close. It's really, really close. But I know there's 3 or 4 words I could change in this sentence that would really, really articulate what I'm experiencing inside. Mm-hmm. It's like sometimes I have these drawings that come in my head, and I'll sit down and draw them, and I'll go, what the fuck is, that's not it. That's not even close to it, but I know what it feels like. Mm-hmm. And that feeling overtakes me, and I want that feeling to just wrap up like a fucking blanket and keep me warm, and then the blankets just shred. You know, the blankets just shred, and then I'm standing there holding shreds of blanket going, fuck, it wasn't this one. You know? And maybe that's part of my contract. Maybe I signed that contract that said, you're going to blow through communities searching for something that's, you know, you're not going to find until you're back in this space. Go have fun. You know?
Well, you are free to change that contract whenever you feel that it doesn't serve you any longer.
But it is serving me, and I know it's serving me.
Go.
And that's my point. You're always on a spiritual journey. Yeah. You're always participating. You're always doing the work. And go. I'm giving you permission.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Oh, podcast hawk. Yeah, I think that community is very valuable. I think that we don't always, that the Allisons and the Lances of the world are not, they aren't everywhere. Mm-hmm. They are not a dime a dozen, and that's what makes them so valuable and so beautiful. And I really feel like a part of me understands where you're coming from, because I have myself I've been upset, feeling like I yearned for a community and didn't have one. And yet I feel very much, I don't know, like that part of me is filled. But I also listen to a lot of Matt Kahn, and I feel like I'm a part of that True Divine Nature online community. I really do. I never felt like that before. His whole thing is love what arises. And I really feel that judgment is the number one thing that hinders us. I really feel like judgment is what keeps us in. And that's why I keep saying I think that it's our perception of what the work is, like the foundation that we're standing on when we do the work. Mm-hmm. Is it a foundation of love and the willingness to welcome everything and to love it? Or is it from a place of judgment that I need to change, I need to be different, I'm inappropriate? And I feel that is something that is really valuable from his teachings that I really, really enjoy, and it just resonates with me. And I love that he's human and that he doesn't hide that he's human. And meaning you know, he's had shit in his life, even after being who he is, the teacher that he is, and demonstrating how to move through that, I think is really cool. Or not even how to, demonstrating his own work in front of all of us. I think that is really, really beautiful. And I also find that my work with Kezia and the dream work, and now she has an online like Facebook community, which is really cool and encouraging. I really feel supported by my dreams, and I really feel that my consciousness knows what's right for me. And so I guess I don't come at a lot of things, and not saying I'm free of judgment, because hell, I know I hold myself back. I know that I hide myself because of my own judgment. I know I become reclusive because of my own judgment and believing I can't do anything that's right. But I feel very supported by those two communities, even though they're pretty much virtual. I feel like they really resonate with me, and that as of right now, they're very empowering. And I found that I've been part of some different communities that I've, realized weren't as empowering as I thought they were or once were, and just a time to move on. Time to be thankful for all that they offered me at the time that I needed it, Mm-hmm. So I guess from a personal perspective, I look at the work as it's only going to work for you. It's only going to be empowering if the foundation that you're standing on is one of willingness to be empowered. If it's one to find all the ways that you need to fix yourself, if it's one that's to find all the ways that we need to judge ourselves, if it's one to find all of the things that are wrong with us, well, then that's not going to be a very empowering thing. And yeah, if your community is standing on the foundation of there's something wrong with you, then maybe that's not the community for you anymore. If your community is standing on a foundation of the bottom line is we need to love and accept ourselves the way that we are. And how can we continue to do that and move through life with more love and respect for ourselves and then for others? I think that that's a worthwhile community. And I think that that's empowering. But I also I have been in communities that I believe are fundamentally empowering, and yet still have people who are totally disempowered. And maybe they won't ever be empowered. Maybe they won't ever feel that way because they really enjoy being disempowered. Or perhaps that's not their destiny. I don't know. It's a complicated thing, being human.
And so is it fair to say, or at least semi-accurate, that the work that you do to grow your own person, however that shows up for an individual, is only as imprisoning or as empowering as you choose?
Yep, or as you need.
And so if someone is listening right now and they're in their head and they're thinking like, are all the things I'm doing in my life, are they imprisoning or are they empowering me? In Julie's opinion, how or what is a good indicator of if something's empowering or imprisoning? In like 1 or 2 sentences, what's a good indicator? This thing is imprisoning me, or this thing, and this thing, by thing, it could be thing, thought, person, place, group, right? Is it empowering me or is it imprisoning me? And for you, how do you make that call?
I guess I want to say, how do you feel? And I guess I would take that a step further and say, how do you respond to how you feel? Because I don't believe, especially in periods of growth, that we're always going to feel blissful or beautiful or even happy. I think that the homeostasis can change. I really do. I feel that that's changed in my life, and this is much longer than a few words. But I went from being, I think, fundamentally not happy to being fundamentally happy. But that doesn't mean because I'm fundamentally happy now that I don't have shitty days or shitty weeks. And what I've learned is that it's really more my perception around my feelings. How do I feel about my feelings? And I think that that's a good indicator if you're being empowered or not. And I feel like the more that I move into a place of empowerment, the more I am okay with and compassionate toward all the feeling experiences that I have, all the emotions that come up. And I'm still very much learning how to dance with all the different nuances of each emotion. And some emotions like anger, I'm just barely getting to know. But it feels more empowering. And who knows? I don't feel like I'm in this, like, I look at many people, I follow some people on Instagram, and I feel like, oh, they're so empowered, and I want to be like them, and I love, like, who they project themselves to be, and I love, like, how I perceive them, and so there are parts of me that, like, know, or maybe just believe that there's more empowerment to come. And who knows? In a few years, I could say that that's a disempowering place to be. But for right now, I feel that I'm much more empowered than I was 10 years ago. How about you? What makes you know whether the work is empowering you or disempowering you?
The first word that came to my mind was control when you said that. How about you? I thought control. You know, for me, I start feeling like when I start feeling like I am being manipulated, right, on any level, right, I start feeling like imprisoned. I start feeling like again, I have a very physical response to emotions, you know. I start feeling like tense and tightness and constriction generally are signs to me that I am in a very, very strong state of resistance. And so for me, when I get into that strong state of resistance, I believe that is my intuition telling me, like, you need to, like, not do this now. Right? Because even when I disagree with something that doesn't, there's times where I feel contemplative or, I don't know if I agree with that, but it could be true. And I won't have those feelings. I won't have that tightness come over me. I'll have more of kind of a hollowing out, a feeling of like, hollow, a real hollow feeling come over me, where when something is just feels controlling or imprisoning or not right for me. This isn't right for me. It becomes it's like every muscle in my body clenches.